At Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Finance, we are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. Tonight, we've got a special guest joining us, one of the OGs of the Hex community, one of the first ones that was streaming, was out there before we came onto the scene. He was one of the few out there that we were watching back in late 2019. Captain RG3.
How's it going, bro? Good to see you.
You too, man. It's been a long time since we've been on stream. Had a couple technical difficulties there, but we're back in action.
Yeah, I got my computer all jacked up waiting for David Fetter to help me hook up my validators.
There we go.
Yeah, got to be part of the system, man. Got to be part of the system.
Yeah, definitely. Crypto Compassion. Nice to see you here. Appreciate you stopping in. Bobby Hexelrod. Blue Collar Grunt. Who else we got in here? Wasn't born a whale. Finally gets to catch a live. Appreciate you stopping in. Godfather J6. Hex Glenn. Vets in Crypto. We got the Reflux guys in the building. Shaq in the building. Mobius in the building. Appreciate all you guys stopping in on this Tuesday evening. So what's new with you, Captain?
Now, just finishing up the tour. We just got done with Austin. That's a crazy place. Like this, weirdo oasis in the middle of Texas or something. It's kind of a cool place. Good tacos, good barbecue. We had a good event out there. Yeah, Austin is kicking, man. I loved it out there. That was a good time. Everybody got a little loose in Austin, I got to say. We got kicked out of the VIP dinner. We went to the VIP dinner and Black Mexican and the rest of them, they just started cutting up, man. Before we knew it, they kicked us out of the restaurant.
Hey, things happen when you're with good friends. I'm pretty sure CZ knows how to throw a good party. So I saw a lot of clips and stuff from that party. So, man, we got the best community out here. If you get to attend any of these events in person and meet some of the community members, I would say 99% of them are the same people you see on stream, on camera, as off camera, and that's rare.
Yeah, it's good. When we had our first Vegas meetup, it kind of all synergized from there. It was just like it came together, and that was a big party, a big, meetup where it's high fives and handshakes and hugs and everything. And it's just gotten better from there. It's just like flowed right from there. Everybody just started becoming family. And then we did a couple cruises together. We got another one coming up next month. I mean, it's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and bigger. We're getting a bigger tent. It's awesome watching it grow like this.
Yeah. And I could definitely tell that it's, I think, rubbing off on other communities. I'm starting to see that other people are starting to do meetups, have in-person parties and get-togethers, and it just makes me think, did they get that from our community? Because I remember back in 2021, there was nobody else doing it.
Nobody wanted to meet up, man. And if you did see like a crypto meetup, it was very odd. It was like those what do they call those those networking meetings where they get in your local regional area, and they get like the guy that mows lawns and the guy that does finance, and then your local realtor, and you get them all together, and the Chamber of Commerce guy shows up and stuff. That's kind of how the Bitcoin
networking
meeting
circles.
Yeah, those little networking circles. Everybody has a little coffee. Nobody talks to each other. Maybe two people talk, and then everybody bails and goes back out to work. That's kind of how the Bitcoin, meetups used to go. I went to a couple of things like that, and it was just like, man, this is just weird. And then from the very first Hexagon meetup that we had, it was myself, Basology, Dollar Cost Crypto, Vince, and there was one. Oh, Yash Deep was there. So the five of us showed up at a park, and we went and ate breakfast and stuff and hung out and freaking chatted. And then it just, they just kept snowballing from there, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then boom, it just turned into CZ's party in Dallas, it just culminated into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then with Abit and Patrick with the whole tour they did around the country, and now the Pulsechain tour, it's like there's no other community that's doing anything similar. We are definitely the trailblazers of crypto. We're setting
I think so.
And I think
it's the first real birth of a crypto community, because there's no company behind this thing. There's nothing kind of driving it. It's completely organic, what we've all done here. And from the streams to our conventions to our movies to our meetups and parties, I mean, everything that we've done in this community has been our effort. The foundation of Hex had nothing to do with it, and Richard Hart has absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, he was an invite to the party that we had in London for the 731 meetup for the Hex birthday for the movie. And he didn't put it together. He just showed up to come hang out. We invited him, and he did. And so to see an organic community, being supported by a good crypto, because that's what it takes in order for a community to continue to thrive and survive and grow and be able to make mistakes and be able to fight each other. Like any good family does, we all get in fights and shit like that. And so in order for us to get through all that, we've constantly had to have a good crypto behind us. XRP can't say that. Bitcoin can't say that. They don't have, Ethereum can't say that. There's no Ethereum freaking community that's out there doing this kind of shit, And so because the cryptos have failed them, they can't, how can you go out and be this hard charging for Ethereum when it's raping people in fees, or when your coin gets dumped on you every single month, via the founders of the foundation, or they've been promising you for the last 6 years that they're going to do something and they never did, So promise coins, rug pulls, and, crypto founders and foundations that are dumping on you. The communities have gotten washed out. And there were a lot of good communities started up, but they just never had the support of a crypto like Hex. We don't have to depend on Richard to make Hex good. Hex is good, period, as it is. So no matter what the community does, crypto is always going to be there standing behind us going, okay, guys, fumble, bumble, do whatever, but just get back up because I'm still here doing what I'm supposed to do. And now you guys go and build and keep building. It's just finally the first organic community that's able to survive because the crypto is going to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. And I hear a lot of people asking, oh, when's Richard going to come back? When's he going to stream? And even Ivan, on some of his streams is saying, oh, it's just not the same without Richard streaming. It's not the same. And I almost make an argument that it's a good thing for Pulsechain almost to thrive and build itself up and get into the top 5, the top 3 with Richard nowhere in sight. All the people that are on the fence, I think, don't get into Hex or Pulsechain because they hate Richard with a passion. It's like a personal thing they have against him, so they won't invest in it. And I think people's egos, once they say, all right, I guess Richard might not really be involved. I haven't seen him at all. So I think Richard, to a certain point, him staying away is a really good thing. And then there'll be a time where I'm sure he's got it planned out, he knows what he's doing. And he's the marketing king.
He's a master chess player. He's a master tactician. His strategies and tactics in this space, no equal. He is absolutely the master in this space. And I don't think that it's a good thing that he's gone. I think it's a necessary thing that he's gone. And I think it's a thing that is really helping to develop the community and really helping anneal the community, because it's one thing that we went through all the fire that we went through, all the FUD and all the hate and vitriol that the crypto community handed us, and the, outside community, the finance community, you name it. They all came at us. But for Richard not to be there, backing us up, it's like we've been backing ourselves up this whole time. Ever since Pulsechain launched, we've been holding it up. We've been standing in front of it. The developers of all the projects that are going on Pulsechain have been doing the work. The community members have been doing the work. The streamers have been doing the work to keep everything going. Now there's some out there bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining, which is doing us no good. So those in the community that are fudding and concern trolling our own bags, you guys need to stop that shit. First of all, knock it off. There's no reason for it. We're in a bear market. Everybody's in the 90s down. So just bear with it. And when it's over with, we'll be the shining city on the hill once again, because Hex hasn't changed. And don't put so much emphasis and expectations on Pulse and PulseX. I've been telling people from the beginning, Hex is the GOAT. Hex is what we should be talking about. T-shares are what's important. Staking is what's important. 5555 is what's important. The Quattro Cinco. These are the things that are still important. Richard made Pulsechain to make Hex better because Ethereum was dragging it down. And that was all he said he was doing. He didn't say, hey, I'm going to make Grace, L1 ever is going to do 10,000X. He said he's designed it, but he really designed to be better than Ethereum, so it'll be better for Hex. Hex is the real crypto that's going to change things. And it's great we have a good L1, but let it do its thing. And as far as PulseX goes, there's a whole bunch of dexes out there that are doing the same thing. And Richard's still rolling out, updates and things, and it'll get better as time goes. But right now it's just a dex on Pulsechain, and there are other things that you can use. So I don't think that putting any, super expectations on those two products are what we should be looking at as a community, as streamers, as educators, as leaders. We should be focusing on Hex and getting back to the basics and telling everybody what we were telling them in the beginning that got a whole bunch of people wealthy, and that was get your Hex, figure out your strategy, stake your Hex accordingly, and wait for the gains.
Yep. And that it's that easy. And the problem I run in with is people don't have an attention span, or they don't have a long-term mindset, or they just expect to just make a lot on the next Pepe and get in and out, and then they'll put some into Hex. And then once they make their 25X, then I'll put it into Hex. So it's like their mentalities are completely backwards. So I try to figure out a way of, highlighting some new projects that are coming out on Pulsechain and tie it in with Hex staking. When you make X's on these meme coins, if you do get lucky, funnel it back into Hex, make sure your ladder is created. And then it kind of, I don't know what it is with people just staking your Hex. It bores people, and it's crazy. It's sad to see.
So I think maybe this might be my disconnect with the people in the community out there, especially with today's newer community coming in. So, I've been in crypto since 2014. I got freaking raked through the coals in 17 in the pump there. And because there wasn't any Hex, there wasn't anything like that, which we were looking for it, but there wasn't anything ready to jump out. And then Richard says, I'm going to build this thing. All right, well, I'm going to all in on this, but I all in on something that I thought was a sure thing, that I thought was DeFi, that I thought was finally what crypto needed, was better than Bitcoin. I literally thought that when he made it, that it was going to be better than Bitcoin. Why couldn't it be? And that was like blasphemy, It's like, oh, how dare you? in Satoshi's name, how dare you say something could be better than Bitcoin? It's a stupid fucking code, man. It's nothing. Bitcoin isn't anything special. It proved the concept, some smart guy's concept, and he never even said it was the end all be all. And then a bunch of smart people come into this field and they start developing shit and they start making shit like Vitalik putting Ethereum out there, proved another concept. Whoa, man, we could program this shit. At that point, everybody should have turned their back on Bitcoin because Ethereum came up with a better way to do it. A better way. So, okay, let's move. Technology's moving forward. No, they still wanted, because some assholes had a bunch of fucking bags of this shit. Oh no, you can't get rid of Bitcoin. No, it can't. That's a shit coin. You want Bitcoin, the Betamax of your freaking live streaming services now. You know, they wanted you to go back to the fucking VCR days, you know, and Bitcoin is it. And there's still people like Saylor. Of course, why? Because he's got a monster fucking bag of this shit.
Right. He needs you to buy his bags, or he needs a government
bag.
Yeah. And now it's, I don't even want to hold my Bitcoin. I'll just give it to someone else to hold for 5%. Take my keys. I don't even care. They're so gone from where it all started. And I can't wait until the flippening happens, or just people, the mainstream understand it. They get it. And these people who have the voices now are just getting people so wrecked. It's sad to see.
They are. And because we're not moving forward and talking about better things, the whole space should be talking about Hex and how much better it is, but they're not. To this day, they're calling us scammers. I blocked a guy just a few minutes ago because of it. It's like, dude, that's the oldest that's a 4-year-old narrative, bro. Been around for 4 years. Been investigated by the SEC 4 fucking times, man. I've been streaming every single week since this thing started. And I haven't wrecked anybody, but all of your heroes have wrecked people. All of your heroes has brushed all of their bullshit fucking rug pulls underneath the rug. And I'm the guy that didn't. All my streams are still there. I was right the whole time because I said, hey, Richard Hart was right. And Hex is better than Bitcoin. And that was blasphemy. So when I got in and I all-ined on Hex and knew what it was, I knew that I had put myself into a long-term staking strategy. I put myself into the Warren Buffett / Charlie Munger strategy of investing in crypto because I finally had my hand on something that I can do that with. And so I was able to grab it, hold it, and go to the moon with it because I was in the first cycle. And of course, all first cycle coins, they do really, really well. All people who get in early, but I got in early on the best crypto ever. So yes, I have a different perspective than a lot of people coming into the space right now, but I want to tell everybody something. That think of those of us OGs who got in the first cycle as those people that got in the first cycle in Bitcoin. Most of those people, I think there might even be 1 or 2 people out there that are still in from there. There's going to be so many more hexagons that are in from the first cycle because of staking, because of the dynamics and the tokenomics and everything that's been built here, or how it functions. Because of that, we're all going to hold a lot longer. Now, that was the first cycle. This is the second cycle, guys. This is your second bull run cycle. Now, think of the people in the second bull run cycle of Bitcoin. There's probably hardly any of those people, too. Like, we're multiple cycles in, and most of those people are all gone. There's maybe a handful in the first, three cycles of Bitcoin, and that are left that have big bags. You're so early. Stop playing around with dangerous things and picking up pennies in front of freight trains and DCA yourself into the greatest crypto that's ever been created. It's Hex. I know some of you guys, you want to put your fucking chips on the table and go for red or black, or, hand me a couple of cards and see if you can beat the dealer. Some of you will, but most of you won't. And that's a shame. So if you're going to do that, at least take a percentage of what you got and just buy some damn Hex right now, because the shit is cheap. And when it goes to all-time highs again, you're going to be going, damn, I remember when that shit was a penny or under. Could have got it then, But I don't know. People are short-sighted. They don't look at history. They don't listen to wisdom. They don't listen to people that have been around and have been through these cycles and seen what happens. And they're not listening to the Hexicans for sure, because we have a different narrative than all the rest of crypto. And this narrative has been brought to you by our founder and the guy that taught us what to do, Richard Hart. And some of you out there claim that he's your savior, or he's the guy that knows everything about crypto. But some of you aren't doing what he said. Some of you aren't listening to what he's been teaching. Some of you guys are out there picking up pennies in front of freight trains and not listening to that narrative that he spoke to you long ago. Maybe he needs to come back and start speaking that stuff. But I haven't gone away. I'm still here to remind you of the things that Richard has said, the products that he put out there, and the reasons why he did, and try and save you from yourselves. That's what Richard said.
Yep.
I'm going to try and save you guys from yourselves. But most of you won't listen, and that's what we're going to end up having. It's going to be interesting to see. I hope all the people out there that are taking a lot of risks on shiny objects and things like that and wanting to get bigger bags. I get it, man. I fucking know. It's like, man, dude, I want to be free. If I just get this bag pumped up just a few more X's and then stick it in some hex at this price, man, I'm good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good on the next bull run. I'm going to be solid, RG. Just fucking let me do this, man. Well, guys, I got bad news for you. Yeah, most of you aren't going to make it through that. That strategy, we've all tried to play it, man. We've all tried to play it. And it usually turns out pretty bad. A few of you will make it. And those few of you that make it are going to be out there screaming off at the rooftops. This is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it. And you're going to start your own channel, and you're going to be the fucking DGen guy out there telling everybody, what they should be doing. And fucking lemmings are going to go right off of the cliff over your fucking good fortune and good luck that you had, and it's just over and over and over again. We see the same cycle, the same pattern, and all those furus go away, and one of them, two of them survive. And then they become the voice that's going to bring the lemmings the next time. It's sad to see, man, but we've got such a good thing here. We got the tiger by the tail with Hex. We're going into its second cycle. Look, guys, it survived its first, launch at a bear market. It survived its first bull and its first fucking horrendous bear market. And now it's going into a bull market completely on tracks that it can run on, that it can fucking stretch its legs on with Pulsechain. And Hex is going to be the phenomenon of the whole next bull cycle. You watch and mark my words. I'm not going to quit preaching that. I'm not going to quit saying that. I've been right from the beginning, and I'm still right to this day. And I know you can timestamp this and see if I'm right at the end of this next bull market.
I think you will be pretty right, because I think a lot of people don't understand the tricks, the tools Richard has, and to his discretion. And he is about glory. He's about getting his due, getting his credit. And there's no way he gets that if Hex doesn't do phenomenally well. He set the bar so high. I think he has to maintain that bar, and he will. He's very capable of that, but people are underestimating the ways he can do that. And I just try to think, like, in a year and a half, when the bull market is here, when Richard is out, what's he going to want to be saying to everybody? Do I have two coins that did a 10,000x? Did Hex that did a 10,000x in 2 cycles? Like, I just try to think of these things he's going to be bragging about. And I just laugh at people that sleep on him. Like, we know, like we've been here, we get it, we know, and it's going to be exciting.
What's funny is that it's the product that he invented, Hex, is not that big a fucking deal. It really isn't. There is no bar. The crypto freaking bros have not put a bar very, very high. Their bar has been, Bitcoin is it. And they haven't raised the bar since. Ethereum tried to raise the bar, but nobody was wanting to go there. They wanted the Bitcoin bar to be the bar that they had to cross, and that was it, you know. And it didn't take much to make an immutable coin that inflates and is given back to the holder, the token holder, so that they don't have to have any middlemen in the whole thing. Just a total immutable product. That's it. No mining. You get to be the creator of the inflation, the distributor of the coin, the piece of the bank that actually collects the penalties from within itself. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It wasn't anything really difficult to do. Give the people something that they deserve and what they want versus all the promises and bullshit that you've been handing them without a reach around for all these years. I saw it when he said he was going to make Hex. I was like, holy shit, yeah, finally something that I don't have to get some weird wallet for or give the keys to somebody's exchange and hold them in there only. You know, and then, we'll replace it with another coin, you know, we'll leave your value in there and yeah, we'll fake it and give you some fake coin. And I mean, it wasn't that hard to do the right thing. And Richard Hart was the first person to do the right thing in crypto. That's it. It was fucking simple. And it's like, why didn't anybody else do it? You know, and so now we have it. Now we have the narrative and all of crypto's pissed off because we won. We beat them all to the punch, and they don't like it. They don't like it at all. And this community better start acting like they know that we got the tiger by the tail and that we beat all of crypto by backing Richard Hart.
Mm-hmm. If you look at the FUD that's out there, it's laughable. There's nothing new. It's the same shit from 4 years ago. I was in a space today with there was a bunch of guys on the Kronos crypto.com's blockchain or something over there. And it was like an argument with Pulsechain versus Kronos, which one was better, yada, yada, yada. And these guys on the Kronos team and in that community were just like, oh, Richard Hart holds 99% of the coins. You call that decentralized? You call that decentralized? Like, really? And like the stuff they're stuck on, it's like, you got to be kidding me. It makes me so bullish because there's not one like decent IQ comment out there that's fun. Like, you know, if Richard goes to the SEC and yada, 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 it could turn out bad for him. Like everything from the SEC FUD, him going to jail from 25 to life. It's like, this is a civil complaint again. How this isn't a criminal case. Like, so I just like, I'm like, okay, how much worse could it really get? The worst thing that could happen to Richard, he goes there and just pleads guilty to everything. Hex crashes 20%, maybe Pulse crashes 20%. He blows him off, and now he's on the run. We crashed 20%, maybe. I mean, I just don't see it getting that much worse. Like the opportunity we have in front of us, like this thing's going to snap so hard the second there's any kind of clarity, any hesitation. I mean, shit, even the Bitcoin ETF comes out, it's going to pump the whole market temporarily. So, I mean, if you get it, you get it. Hex saves you from, that's the main thing I want to stress to people, is that Hex will save you from yourself. When the bull market comes and there's shit that's all over the place, you're hearing about these new coins, people are making all this money, you're feeling like you're missing out, you end up doing stupid stuff, and you end up just piddling your money away, losing trades, chasing stuff, getting rug pulled. You would have been better off just staking all along. And that's why I tell everybody, if you're going to do the degen stuff and mess around, that's fine, but make sure you have all of your Hex bags packed, your ladder done, your Pulse X bags packed, and then mess around. Then it's okay. If you're not in that position, stop. You know,
it's fun to make, you know, $2,000 off $100 or $5,000 off of $200 or something like it. It's fun. I get it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in this game just for a game and you're making a big mistake because there's a big product here underneath your nose that is bigger than the game. It's bigger than the game that they're playing out there, because Hex inflation is better than any inflation in the world. And the world is in trouble because of inflation, and Hex fixes that. No other product in the world can help guys, working class guys like me who work 30, 35 years of their life and don't have a pot to piss in. Nobody's got a product that can yield 38% APY for them than Hex. There's a big need for what we've got in the real world. This is not a gambling toy. This is not a speculative asset that you are going to be throwing the dice on. This is something that you could literally bank some future on. You can put your crypto into this and you can make yourself a future investment that's going to probably outpace any 401k or pension plan that you put together. Right now, I spent 30 plus years in the workforce, and my 104k instead of a 401k is barely worth a damn thing. And now 90% of my worth, or 95% of my worth, is in crypto, in Hex, and it's staked and it's laddered and it's doing what it's supposed to. The chance I took on it 4 years ago, the ladder I created, the stakes I created, the future that I put away is now 4 years of maturity. And it's outpacing my expectations of what I was hoping and thinking that it can do. Price performance on Hex is outpacing my expected performance of that. Even though it's down 90-something%, it's still outperformed what I expected it to. And that's because first cycle, you know what I'm saying? We're in the second cycle bear now, but it's all relative to how you look at it, what your time horizon is, what your position is in this game. But guys, listen to the people that have been around, the knowledge and wisdom. This thing's not dead. Hex is still doing what it's supposed to be doing. The market is in trouble. The market is in a downturn, and it's getting ready to turn back up. All you got to do for everybody really is just show them the halvening charts, show them all of the last 4 or 3 halvenings, and then put the fourth one underneath it and show where it's at now and where it's about to go. I mean, the halvening charts say it all for this whole market space, and with all the buzz, with the ETF buzz and all of the institutional money wanting to come in and moving around, I'm watching it move around. The institutional money's doing, $1 billion moves every day, moving back and forth into wallets and OTC trades behind the scenes, going in and out of exchanges and stuff without affecting the price, of course. But they're moving it. It's moving back and forth. These big whales are either selling to these money houses, the Morgans, the freaking Fidelities, and all the rest of them, or people are just moving $1 billion a day worth of Bitcoin for no reason. I don't know why anybody would risk that, So it's happening. And this wasn't happening 6 months ago. There wasn't Bitcoin moves like that 6 months ago. Now wallets are every day, hundreds of millions of dollars on transactions. Nobody risks $100 million worth of transaction on, moving it to another wallet or something. That just doesn't happen. And I know some of it's, mining pools, moving some money, but this hasn't been going on for the last 6 months. And now it's every single day. So it's coming. It's coming. And Hex, when it moves, when it moves, baby, it is a beautiful fucking thing when Hex moves. Ain't seen nothing.
I'm hearing too that, like, for or like the fund managers and the bigger guys right now, that Q4 has just been liquidate everything, get as much off the books as possible, clear as much capital as they can, and the start of next year, I heard it could be like insane in January. So, and just what you were saying about the OTC stuff, I mean, you're not going to see that stuff on CoinDesk or on any of these little news sites. That stuff is happening behind the scenes, not affecting a price, and it's just like nothing else is going on. So it really is exciting to see that. Like, things are about to start happening when you see those bigger moves happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's really happening, and it's real time. And I just wanted to pull up the whale alert right now. So for November 14th, today alone, and I'd see a couple of whale alerts a day. Right now I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 whale moves. 35 million, 50 million, 173 million. Now this is USD. This isn't, coin. 15.3 million, 11.9, 27 million, 99.95 million, 19 million, 100 million, 13 million, 37 million. And it just goes on and on and on. All those, 158 million, just transaction after transaction. Nobody moves that kind of money for no reason. There's something going on. And
they know that ETF is coming. It's them that are buying everything right now. It's obvious, I think.
Yeah. Now you understand the financial world a lot better than I do, the stock markets and whatnot. Now, history has shown that we got a lot of tax breaks for corporations the last over the last decade, 8 years ago or whatever, 7, 8 years ago, and they did a lot of stock buybacks. So boom, they invested a lot of money back into their own companies to gather their own stocks. What does that end up bringing, especially in a hyperinflation situation where we've got a lot of money pouring into the system? We've got a lot of companies holding their own stocks. The money is kind of like stagnated, like it's stopped moving. And that's the one thing. The flow of money is important. And usually it's the little guys buying tennis shoes and bicycles during Christmas and new cars and all this stuff that actually gets the economy rolling and moving and rolling. And at this point, the wealthiest companies have stagnated the money by gathering it all through the banks, with all the money printing and everything. And they've done stock buybacks. So all that cash is kind of stuck into those places. What do you see happening here? I mean, what's going on? What's going to click the gears back into place? Or are we just going to have a fall on our face moment here?
I don't think a fall on our face moment would ever happen in the stock market, because anytime something bad happens, you never see a stock that comes down and then just has this wicked consolidation phase for a year and a half. It never happens. They always get bought right back up. So the stock market, like I always say that crypto is really the only true last market out there, because you don't have the bailouts. If you're doing something stupid with a bank and you're big enough, oh yeah, we'll just, we're too big to fail at this point. That doesn't happen in crypto. Anyone that did that, 3 Arrows, Celsius, they all got wiped out.
Boom. Yeah.
So, and I think with the stock market too, that if it wasn't for 7 companies out there, the stock market would be a disaster. I mean, you have Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple. These companies are pulling the rest of, I would say, zombie corporations up. And I think that the gig is almost up with all the buybacks and just it's another way of just it's just a Ponzi scheme, I think, of way overvalued companies. And I don't know what the way out of it is besides inflate it higher and print more money. I
thought it was funny that they all got out of the dollar and into their own stocks right before the money printing really took off. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, hey, give us a monster tax break. We'll take it, and we're going to take that money and we're going to buy ourselves and get out of the cash position. And okay, go ahead, turn the printers on. It was almost like clockwork.
Yep. And then you look at, I always pay attention to around September of October every year of what the CEOs are doing. And if you look the last couple of years, they were dumping like crazy towards the end of the years. And what do you know? They were selling right around the local tops every single time. And I think Jamie Dimon, for the first time ever, is selling a bunch of his stock that he's held for I don't know how many years. So I don't know if he's on his way out, if it's just, he sees the writing on the wall, it's time to really, make some changes here, or just hang it up. He's got enough money, I'm sure.
That's going to be an interesting metric to watch, is the these big bank moguls and see what these guys do over the next couple of years here. Are they going to step back and walk away and maybe let crypto have its heyday, or crypto is coming and they ain't got anything they can do about it? And we start seeing those guys walk away. That might be, you might have uncovered the initial domino falling, with like somebody like Jamie Dimon starting to cash out and say, okay, I'm getting ready to take a back seat. I'm ready to walk away from this thing because maybe the banks aren't going to be around anymore. You know what I mean? Because he's not an old guy, and he's, he's one of the biggest, baddest mofos walking in the valley right now when it comes to finance, and why would he be thinking about maybe walking?
Yeah. It's interesting. And then I see stuff like Warren Buffett right now, his largest holding. Would you ever guess it's in a bank stock right now? Like, why would Warren Buffett be loading up on Bank of America stock at this time with how bad it looks? It's like, does he not maybe know something that's coming down the pipeline with what they're doing with Ripple and some potential collapses with their competition? Yeah, I don't know, but seeing him make those moves, it just makes me so bullish for crypto, for blockchain, for fintechs in general, because Microsoft and all these corporations, they are getting heavily involved, but they're doing it stealthily. They're doing it through partnerships with partnerships. They're acquiring a company that directly isn't, works with gaming or whatever it is. So they're all kind of setting their tentacles in, and I think they're going to do it just by acquisition. They're not really going to get involved. They're going to just buy stuff out that makes sense, that they can just smoothly transition with. But I think crypto is going to slowly start to become so attractive just because of the yield. I mean, the name of the game is yield, and I don't know where else you get it besides DeFi right now, especially with interest rates as high as they are. And banks, I think their shenanigans are up. The blockchain brings transparency to everything. I don't think they can pull their gold manipulation, their silver manipulation, the mortgage-backed security nightmare that's going on right now. I don't know if you could do that if everything was on the blockchain.
Well, see, that's what they fear, is that they'd have to expose their dirty laundry if everything ended up on the blockchain. They couldn't hide shit anymore, and that's why crypto's better money, and we do have to have protections in place for privacy, and hope we don't lose that. That's important, and DeFi should help with that. But I think you're right that they see the writing on the wall. They're doing it stealth. I mean, look at, for instance, there's some big articles out there, hey, JP Morgan owns, not Uniswap, MetaMask, right? I think it's MetaMask or whatever. Yep. It's like, no, there's actually a company that has, JP Morgan has a tentacle in that company, but they're loosely related. So if, like you said, we're just going to buy up those assets. Give me that wallet, that wallet, that wallet, that wallet. We've got our connects here. This guy here is ready to make the deal, and now JP Morgan owns it. So they do have their tentacles in, and they are doing it stealth and incognito. But they're there, man. They're all there. And now the narrative is changing. It used to be, crypto's a Ponzi and a scam and a blah, 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 blah. And now it's, we're looking at it, and we're thinking about it, and we want an ETF, and yeah. Now it's like they're just backpedaling every step of the way here, and this might be their big move. This year might be their big move when they come in. We'll see. I'm not rooting for it, like most of crypto's rooting for it. I'd much rather see us organically grow DeFi and give it to the people and let the people understand it and let the people wake up and scream at the rooftops, hey, we got better money here. Screw all you banks, screw all you governments, screw all you. We want our money to exist here with the people, and let the people decide how the money's going to exist and look and inflate and all that kind of stuff. We want code. We don't want human beings meddling with it anymore. We don't want middlemen. We want the people to have it. That's what I would love to see, instead of some, anarchic dream of everything collapsing and us all somehow coming together and kumbaya and fixing a new system, which will never fucking happen. I'd like to see something slowly take hold and become better and expose itself as being better and proof itself in the marketplace and proof itself on the global stage. That's what I'm hoping that crypto would be. Because we know what's going to happen this time. They're coming, guys. The institutional money's coming. You're going to get your fucking wish. People are going to get happy and people are going to get rich and people are going to get wrecked. A lot of people are going to get wrecked because guess what they're going to do? They're going to bring that money in. They're going to get everybody all excited, and your moms and your dads and your neighbors and your cousins and your tios and your tias are all going to come into this thing, and they're going to be like, oh, I want to become a millionaire too. And then the rug's going to get pulled and all those people are going to get fucked, and you're going to be holding the bag just like always. It's not going to change. There's nothing new under the sun. That's what these people are coming to do. They're going to take your money. And some of us are going to get rich because of it. But hey, you guys wanted it, not me. I'm trying to preach a different story. Let's do it organically. Let's do it with community. Let's do it slowly. Let's build on something good and trustworthy and worthwhile and help people instead of this fake, happy, clappy, hippy dippy fucking pump that's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think that it's not going to be as much as we think this cycle, because I think legislation, it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed from our Fed now, while it's supposed to being out January of this year to they just went live, a month or two ago. Swift is being delayed. ISO is being delayed. So we're seeing massive delays. I think just like with Pulsechain, how it took more time. Shit happens. It's happening around the industry. So I don't think until legislation comes in, until about 2026, the big guys are going to kind of be handcuffed. Yeah, they're going to have their ETF, and I think they're going to be more on like the security tokens, and like they're having with banks, they're going to be called deposit tokens that they have that they work with each other and
Bitcoin.
stuff.
And it's going to pump Bitcoin. And that's great, because here's what's going to happen. See, that Bitcoin has to go somewhere. And there's a bunch of old timers on crypto guys that have been in the last 10 years, 12 years, got big bags of that Bitcoin, and they want to go out and shitcoin. I'm telling you right now. And they're going to dump it on the freaking institutions, which is what's happening now behind the scenes. We're seeing that OTC trades. And they're going to start putting it into the freaking shit coins that they call the degen plays. All this stuff is going to, and we see it every time. It boom, market comes in, the institution money comes in, Bitcoin pumps up, and the rest of the freaking market goes along with it, because people are moving money around and trying to play that game and make those X's, man. They want those X's, and nothing's going to stop that from happening. It's the degen play is going to be in. But here's the one thing that I know about legislation. Ladies and gentlemen, we just started an election year on November 7th. We are now in an election year. You know what that means? Ain't nobody talking about shit that's going to not get them elected. And guess what? Crypto is a hot fucking button, man. Nobody wants to touch crypto. Nobody wants to say shit about it. Either way, good or bad, it's bad for your election hopes. It's bad, man. They never talk about crypto during election year. So guess what? It's going to be off their fucking lips. Come February, ain't nobody. Crypto what? Crypto who? What legislation? Gary gives it. Where's Gary? Gary's on vacation. I'm going to tell you right now, they ain't talking. They ain't saying shit. Ain't no politician getting behind no legislation for crypto next year. They wouldn't dare. They would not dare. And it'll be a quiet fucking start of a bull run, and we'll go right into this thing, and everybody's going to get what they want. Everybody's going to get what they want.
I think so.
Change.
And I,
you know, why do they always have this thing during election year? Why do they timed it with the election year?
Exactly. The halving every year is exactly. And I don't know if that was coincidental. If so, it was brilliant. But I think that exactly nobody's gonna want to be that person that puts their campaign on Bitcoin or something stupid. They're not gonna do it. And I look
It's like talking about
to
fucking aliens, man. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Bitcoin. I'm for Bitcoin and letting you guys all know the aliens just landed over here in Austin last week. So let's
Yeah.
but the same
Yeah.
fucking thing, man. To the real world, to the voting public, you talking about crypto. It's like you're a crazy person if you're talking about crypto in legislative circles.
Yep.
Not too many people are doing that. So we're not going to see anything legislatively this year.
No. And I've been paying attention to what Europe is doing because I really think that they're setting the precedent over there, and then we're going to kind of follow with what they do. And I've been seeing that they've been working, getting consulted by A16, Binance, Gemini, and Coinbase all went over there to meet with their DeFi regulators to help them draft their laws. So I just have a sneaking suspicion that their DeFi laws are going to be very favorable for them to stay allowing us to operate the way we are now, to have our own stuff. But then what I see happening, I watch a lot of like stuff with Fidelity just to get a picture of what they're trying to do, what their plan is. And right now they're building out their crypto platforms, and we don't have access to them, but they are building out interoperability through MetaMask. So us with our private wallets, we'll be able to say, we want to take an ETH or some HEX and buy some tokenized art or a piece of statue or whatever it is. We'll be able to load up our MetaMask wallets to their sites and buy whatever, completely interoperable. And it's just going to come down to having that decentralized like anonymity or like decentralized ID that's coming, so we can use the internet and use the blockchain and use these DeFi dApps without leaving a trail of everything we do. Like every time we swipe our card, at the grocery store, they don't see that and be like, oh shit, I see everything else you spent. Like that's crazy. And that's going to change. That too is a major a thing that's preventing these institutions and big money from coming in, is they can't be leaving money trails of what they're doing, their transaction history. It has to be private, and we're just not there yet. So I really think that this bull run is going to be the last one with real parabolic gains and the real 100, 200Xs out there, because next cycle, the legislation will be here, which is going to kill 95% of the shit coins and stuff out here. And it's the S curve every cycle, it flattens out more. And, now is just that time, to take advantage while we can.
Yeah, it was, just like in the birthing of the S&P marketplace, and I forget what they called them in the beginning, but volatility was just like this. There was a lot of volatility, a lot of swings until the S curve flattened out. Markets are still from down here to up here, but the volatility in the middle, the wiggles in the middle that destroyed and made fortunes, slowly but surely flattened out, and you don't get as big as swings anymore. And your swings are more predictable based on, market calculations and whatnot, almost like they are in crypto now. Now we're starting to know when the bull markets come and when the bear markets come, and the 4-year cycles and the halvening and what it does. And people are playing on it. And again, more people know now versus knew then, the last cycle, of what's happening. I didn't hear them talking about this stuff before the last cycle started. It wasn't like big on people's lips when the cycle before that happened in 2017. People weren't talking about the halvening cycle and how much it was going to impact. Excuse me. So the narrative has gotten louder. People are understanding. smarter traders are in there making moves now and capitalizing on the situation. And I think that's why this last bull market was as short as it was, because people knew the gig was up. Hey, time to get out. You know, this thing's only going to go so much further. Excuse me. So,
Yeah.
you know, and here we are again, and we're at the prefaces of the halvening about to happen, and everybody knows what's knows what's going on. So I think a lot of people are making these plays now to try and get their bags packed. So people need to be careful.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that gives me the most confidence that we're really gonna, I would say we're really gonna rip, but if you look at the stock market just in general, I think the consensus would be everything is so overvalued, so over leveraged, and just what's the upside there? And then you take a look at crypto, at some of the blue chip projects, whether you love them or hate them, some of the stuff that, you know, they are building, the gaming platforms that are going to be coming, the metaverse stuff that's going to be coming when Apple releases those goggles next year, right around the halving, you know, that's going to kick up the metaverse thing again. And I just look at the prices across crypto of Hex, of Pulsechain. Everything is so undervalued. The prices do not reflect the true utility and the communities and anything. So I just see the stock market is so overvalued and crypto is so undervalued. So that's what really kind of solidifies it for me. I don't look around and say, yeah, you know, I don't know that crypto, what's the upside there? You can't really, everything is hyper suppressed.
Yeah. And I think that, so when we really see the pump moving is when the general public, when every 15-year-old in high school is sitting there looking at their Robinhood mass and they got Bitcoin on it, or Cardano or whatever. That's when it's moving. I mean, that's when your phone is blowing up and people are asking you what freaking meme coin to buy, and you're trying to talk to them about Hex. They know you've been streaming about Hex for the last 3 years, and they ask you about how, you know, what do you think about Doge right now? You know, that's the phone call you're gonna get, because that's the phone call I'm gonna get. Like, I made a movie. I fucking streamed for 4 years. My friends and my family know who I am and what I do, and they're going to call me this bull run and ask me about Shiba Inu. They are going to do it, period. Oh yeah, the Hex thing. But hey, you know, my friend, he got the Shiba Inu thing, man. And what do you think? You know what? Are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you fucking kidding me right now? I mean, that is the phone call I'm going to get, and you're going to get. It's going to happen. And when that happens, you know, that's when we know we're at the top. That's when we know that these Venturi effect. I built a race Harley, and I learned about heads and moving flow and all this kind of stuff. And I learned about NASCAR technology and how they fill a cylinder and pack that cylinder completely with air fuel mixture. And it's about timing those valves and those heads to suck as hard as they fucking can, leave that valve open long enough, and then shut the valve and open the other one just with a little bit of space in there to completely get all of the power from the freaking vacuum to pull as much fuel air mixture in there as possible before you shut the door on it. And that's what these institutions are doing. They want to suck as much freaking people into this thing because they're buying now. We're watching them. They're buying now. They're getting their Bitcoin at 37K. And they're going to squeeze this in until they get every 15-year-old and every high school and pizza joint in America with their Robinhood app buying Bitcoin at 70, 80, 90K. And they're going to keep pulling it in until they can shut the door on it and dump this fucking thing. And
the sad thing is going to be, it's going to be pension funds and retirement funds of hardworking Americans.
More than likely. And that's a shame. However, for those of us who have been talking about it and understand what's happening and have been educating our people so that they know that when they see their kid with a Robinhood app, when Bitcoin's at 90K, that you better stop them right there, because this is what these people are going to do to crypto. They are going to suck everybody in. They're going to close the door and they're going to ignite that fucking cylinder, and boom, they're going to take your money. They did it last time. They did it the time before, and they are going to do it again because they're getting bigger, better, badder-asser tools now than they had before to do that job. And that's what they're going to do. Now, some of us are going to get rich because of it. Some of you are going to get very wealthy because of it, because your bags are going to pump to the freaking moon, and you're going to understand how to DCA yourself out and take a little profit and put a little powder on the side for the next bear market so that you can buy the bottoms and then you can ride the wave again. But the masses are going to get eaten up, and it's going to be unfortunate for crypto. It's going to give it its bad name, and then the regulators can come in and start doing their dirty work. And it's just a never ending. There's nothing new under the sun. I mean, do I have to write a book so everybody, a book of the future of crypto and what's about to happen? I mean, you saw it happen once before. It's going to happen again. So.
Yep. I completely agree. And I mean, I know you can make an argument that this cycle, it could be extremely parabolic. It could all happen in 2024. And you can make the argument that it could run out into the end of 2025. I hear good arguments for both. So nobody really knows. You have to be ready for anything. And I would say my biggest piece of advice is trade against your emotions. If you're feeling FOMO, oh my God, I got to get into this coin, I got to buy more, you should probably click the sell button. If you own a coin like Teddy Bear or PDI and you're still holding on, and when it was going down, you're like, oh God, I got to get out. I got to get out. No, that's the time where if you bought that coin, you believed in it, you buy more at that point. So it's always so hard to do. But if you can train yourself to do that, it really, really, I think, is a positive thing.
Bro, you're 100% correct. When we first started Discourse Syndicate and we had the F and Hangout, we'd like do these 3-hour streams of just talking about Hex and Richard and what was going on and uncovering T-shares and figuring things out, staking strategies, blah, blah, blah. But then afterwards in the green room, it was COVID time. So we were all up till wee hours in the morning, sitting there, having an after party in the green room, just chatting with each other, saying the stuff that we didn't want to say on stream. And one of the biggest narratives that all of the Hexicans had back then, all the OGs sitting in the green room talking about, what had happened to them in the past and everything. And they wouldn't say it so much in public or live, but they said it all the time. And we would always say, man, if I would have only done the opposite of what I've always done, I would be so freaking wealthy right now. Literally all my trades, all the shit that I did and degened on, if I would have literally flipped the script on every single trade I made and sold or bought instead of bought and sold when I did, I'd be way ahead. I'd be a 75%er versus a 30%er, and that was, everybody had that same narrative. It's like, well, I want to buy this, so guess what? I should sell it right now. I should have told myself that right when I buy, I shouldn't buy right now because I know it's going to happen. The price is going to go down, and that's what would happen to all of us. And we always talked about that. And the percentages would have been better if we would have played into our own emotions and what we thought was going to happen and just done the opposite. So,
yeah.
And that's a horrible strategy, but
that's true. That's how markets work, right? It really is just a chart of human emotions against these things and how the people feel about them at that time. It really is crazy. But it's exciting. We're in a really good spot right now, and
we are. Yeah, we got the tiger by the tail here with Richard Hart's products, and nobody really knows or understands what he's done. I mean, he created DeFi that didn't exist. Like Bitcoin doesn't have the metrics that Hex has. Ethereum doesn't have the decentralization and the metrics that Pulsechain has. You know, he made true DeFi, like Web3 producers, people that are producing Web Pulsechain going, holy shit, we got a place to live now. Because I was out there with a lot of Web3 when I was in Europe. I was working with Crypto Stylus, and she has all these Web3 projects coming to her through her work, and I met with a bunch of them. I went out and rubbed elbows and parties and all this stuff out in Europe with them, and they all have the same common problem. They've all got these really nice metaverse projects built, ready to go, with concepts and ideas and finance opportunities for everybody and all of these cool things, but they didn't have a blockchain that could support them. All these blockchains were, just promise coins, promise chains. They wouldn't stay up. There wasn't any value in there. They didn't have any community that could support them and bring them and welcome them in and show them the ropes. And there was none of that, and they needed that blockchain in order to make their Web3 project really work and flow. And now with the advent of Pulsechain, I think that is going to be Pulsechain's major heyday. One thing, all of these tokens being able to function and operate. But you said 95% of them, you said earlier, 95% of them aren't even going to be able to function in a few years. Not even going to be allowed to function because of their metrics. But because of what Pulsechain is bringing, those good projects that are coming now, like we're seeing a lot of good stuff being built now, those projects that are coming now are going to have a place to live and thrive. And now all these things that they wanted to do on blockchain can possibly happen now because you've got solid technology to build your crypto project, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to launch. And you're going to be able to get adoption because you've got community here. I mean, one of the coolest things that I've seen lately is, and I'm not endorsing these guys, but I like what they're doing, and it's the Tang Gang. The Tang Gang is out there like showing real, true community effort to onboard projects. Now they're doing it kind of in a petri dish with NFTs, which, a lot of people see value in them. A lot of people don't. A lot of people hate them. A lot of people really like them. So that's kind of that whole thing's up in the air. But they're showing true community effort of going out, reaching out to projects that are reaching out to a blockchain. They're saying, hey, we've got a blockchain over here. We're not going to gouge you or charge you. We're going to show you how to set your own project up over here. And all you got to do is just acknowledge us and say, thanks, Tang Gang, and that's what they're doing. And they're fired up about it. They're helping. We just helped the Rogue Bunnies, the gals that left the Playboy organization and started their own thing. They were getting screwed over by the organization. They didn't like what was going on. The contracts were getting messed with. They took all the girls out of the office. Hef had a kind of a different atmosphere there where he was letting them all be part of it. And now they weren't. So they want to do their own thing. So they started the Rogue Bunnies. And now they were looking for a blockchain. They were orphaned. Couldn't do it on ETH. It's too expensive. Couldn't do it over on another chain because it was a ghost chain. There was nobody there to help them. They had to go through a foundation in order to get things done. And they reached out over here. I introduced them to the Tang Gang, and Tang Gang's like, we got this. Come here, ladies. Let us show you what to do. Boom, boom, boom. Here, this is your own now. You own it. It's on your website. This is it. Tang Gang's here for you. Let us help you market it. And bam, that's how it's done. I just love how the community is starting to use the tools that have been put in front of them to go out and do the right thing, which is, hey, community development, grassroots. We're here to help. This is for everybody to do well on. And we just want to see you do well. Thank us later. Next, I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about and it makes me mad when I see like the OG hexagons or just people that are shitting on new projects that are being built over here. It's like these, if you don't like it, whatever, just don't say anything unless it's a 100% scam. Just bite your tongue. Don't say anything, because those people, they worked hard. They are really passionate in that project. They believe in it. They chose to come over here on Pulsechain when they could have went anywhere else. And you have to just like needle them or poke them. It's like, why can't you just say nothing? If you can't just say, hey, good luck, good job, anything. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Because, bro, look, it's like this. And I've got to take my hat off to both sides of this. And here's why. And that's why I have Discord Syndicate, because I want everybody, we have to have these arguments. We have to have these conversations. And we have to figure out how to use discernment and how to be adults and how to really scrutinize or criticize in a right way. I know there's a lot of emotion here because there have been scams. There have been people that have come and fleeced the community and have hurt the community and brought no value. When they came and asked, they brought no value, and I understand that that's soured some hexagons. Now those hexagons are diehard, full-blooded hexagons, man. FBH. These guys are true to the cause, and I commend them. I stand behind them 100%. However, we always got to let Scooter go out and fail or succeed. And we always got to root for people who are doing things, building things, and trying to make things better. Now, some of them have been suspect, and we've watched them, and they've promised, and they haven't delivered. So those people, we just got to keep an eye on. And everybody needs to be smart enough to understand that that's what's going on in this space. We need to be wary. And if you're putting your life savings in, and here's where the problems are. Now we've got a whole bunch of these things coming out. And you said it early. We got people that want to get their bags pumped up, get themselves that 10, 15, 20, 100X, and then shove it into Hex. Because we all know we love Hex. We all know what we got with Hex. And that's what we all want. Or we want some pulse. We want to get these bags big as we can. So they're looking at all these new things that are coming out, and they're listening to the narratives, and then they're going all in on those things. And that's where the wreckage is happening. And that's where these OGs are trying to stand on the line in the middle of this thing and help everybody from getting wrecked. And I get it, and I understand it. However, you have to let people go out and fail. In order to trust something, you have to give that trust up. Trust is a mathematical equation. You have to give trust in order to get it. Now there comes a point where, it's the, screw me once, shame on you, screw me twice, shame on me, so you've got to keep that in mind, but don't ever put yourself in a position where those kind of people can screw you. And that's what people need to understand. And those hexagons that are all up in arms about this stuff need to understand that all these people are responsible for themselves. And that's the narrative you should be speaking versus trying to hinder development, trying to hinder progress, trying to just freaking yell and scream at everybody who comes up with something that's not Hex or that Richard Hart didn't put out. Can't do that. Look, I'm the biggest fan of Richard Hart around here and his products. I'm the biggest Hex advocate out here. But you have to let other things go and do their thing. Richard built a L1. Guess what? Shit's going to get built on it, and good shit's going to get built on it that comes out of this community. But there's going to be some scams. There's going to be some shams. There's going to be some promises, and there's going to be some failed promises and all that kind of stuff. You just got to learn how to identify that, let it go, let them do their thing. Don't get yourself mixed up in it. Don't get yourself over leveraged in those things. And when they fail, let them fail. I didn't buck with it. I didn't let anybody else, buck with it. But publicly, I didn't disparage anybody or try and make people look at it in a certain light that it may not be in, try and flood it down, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of these people just spout out the side of their neck, about this guy and that guy. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know how hard they're working. You don't know what kind of money and effort they're putting into it. You don't know the kind of snafus that they're dealing with. You don't know. You don't know. Let people have their chance to go out and fail on their own, you know? And if it doesn't hurt you or anybody that you're worrying about it, then you should be all right with it. But, you know, don't go after these folks as they're trying to get shit done. It's not fair. It's not the right way. It's not using good discernment.
Yep. And I just think, like, whoever would have said right when Pulsechain launched in May that in August the craziest thing would be a stable coin, PDI, that everyone was freaking out about. So you never know, you know, what project that is coming on Pulsechain that could look like the stupidest thing, and in a year from now it goes viral and was the reason Pulsechain did 100x. Like, you never know.
You never know where that viral moment's going to come from, man. And like I said, I'm rooting for all these things. I like all these concepts. I like the things that Pulsechain allows crypto developers to try and go out and proof. It's a new proofing ground. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like Bitcoin proved the concept, Ethereum proved the concept, Hex proved the concept, Hedron proved the concept. And now Pulsechain is like a whole new arena for concepts to be proofed on, you know? And it's like a whole new iteration of crypto. There's going to be new products, better products, things that are going to come out that are going to utilize Hex, that are going to utilize, you know, Pulse itself, and be better products. Richard created something that can, I mean, just look at the improvements that Hedron, you know, gave to people. Thought, okay, well, you can't improve Hex, you can't make it any better. Well, Hedron made Hex better by giving you an option to stake. You know, he proved that you can take a T-share and make it a little fucking power cell and build cryptos around it and give them value when they didn't have value. Now it can run around with that T-share. This I keep wanting to say ETF, this NFT can, you know, wrap itself around a T-share, and now you can go do all kinds of stuff with it. You know, not just, you know, create a stake, but you can make an NFT, do all kinds of cool stuff with a T-share stuck inside of it, like a little battery, you know, a little Hex producing battery makes value. So that was one of the cool things that came out of the Hex ecosystem, was the proofing of the T-share, you know, and I thought that was amazing, and it's not talked about enough. And there's going to be more projects that build on that. And now we have this whole new environment, like a whole new world for and the developers are going nuts right now. They're building all over the place, trying to get onto Pulsechain, you know, and now we have a whole new environment for people to go out and proof themselves and proof new concepts and do new cool things that blockchain always talked about doing. Blockchain, you know, that you go to all these conventions and all these, you watch all these old videos and YouTubes about, oh, how they're going to, you know, jump into the mortgage world, and how they're going to jump into the produce world. And you're going to follow your meat from, you know, when it's born until it ends up on your plate and all this cool stuff. But the blockchain never could provide that stuff because of scaling issues and number go up too high and gas problems and all that other stuff. Now with Pulsechain, all that cool shit can happen. You know, all that cool stuff can happen. So people can bring their projects over here and make them work and put them in society, make people really interested in crypto and blockchain technology, like they've always been touting. It just befuddles me that the whole crypto space isn't going, God damn, bravo, Richard. Thank you, dude. You really fucking did. We're sorry we were all had our thumbs up our asses here, freaking playing with ourselves and didn't do anything. Well, you did. Gosh, thank you, Richard. But no, that's not what's going on. But that's what they should be doing, because he's brought true DeFi and Web3 and all the crypto projects you want to fruition. And here they are, you know, and we're the ones that got the tiger by the tail. We're in first, guys. Everybody in the chat, you guys are in first, man. You guys are in first. Next couple of cycles for you, gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that with all the delays in Pulsechain, with the price doing what it did, I would give the launch maybe a 4.5 or 5 out of 10. And I think that wasn't the worst thing. You know, it washed out and rinsed some of the weaker hands. So we got them out early, so they're not selling on us in the middle of the bull market.
Thank you guys, by the way.
And yeah, exactly. And it's just Richard has so much more to give us. It's like you just get a tidbit at a time, one thing here and there. And I know he's got a ton of stuff planned, and he's just waiting for the right time. I mean, I think he is probably one of 10 that can go way back to being there back in the day, mining, 50 BTC blocks. I mean, I don't know how many other people can say that. I mean, he's one of the OGs. I mean, he owns a lot of DAI. He owns a lot of that coin. He controls a decent amount of that supply. Like, he is so much bigger than he gets credit for. And I can't wait until he's just able to flex on everybody and get his credit and say, I got 3 coins that have done a 10,000x.
That would be nice. I'd love to see, the triple 10K. That would be awesome. That's a hell of a feather to put in your cap, and
it might have to be next cycle, but
it might have to be who knows how much comes in and how high things go. I mean, I know that Hex can do phenomenal numbers that people don't even fathom, with Bitcoin only tapping into about 2 to 3% of the world's population and doing a 6 million X. Imagine what happens if just 10 or 15% of the world gets in and Hex picks up most of that, because Hex is better than Bitcoin, because Hex is the better crypto. 6 million X, right? What's 10 to 15 to 20 million X? I mean, that's the kind of things that can happen with this. This is better than Bitcoin. And they think Bitcoin can save the world and fix the money. Well, crypto couldn't fix shit. Crypto had its thumb up its ass. Crypto was garbage. Your little crypto thing, your little Bitcoin thing. I got news for the maxis. You guys were fucking very, very wrong and very, very small in the world and looked at like fools. And now those of us who understand what true DeFi is at are looking at you like you're fools from within the community now.
Look at what Jack Levin did to that. He vampired Pulsechain and whatever. We had some high fees for a day or two. His ordinals have clocked up Bitcoin to the point where it's like half of the transactions are ordinal and transactions. I think he can make it to the point where it's $20 to send. He can literally clog up Bitcoin to where the network is unusable with his stupid little NFT ordinal things like that. That ship has sailed on Bitcoin, boy. Whew.
It is. And when they all find out about and see, and that's what gets me, is that some of these guys aren't dumb. They're not dumb. They know all this stuff. They know what's happening. They know that it's done. They know that there's better cryptos and that there's going to be even better cryptos coming out that are going to blow the doors off of poor Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin deserves its props, deserves its thank you for being first. Thank you for bringing crypto to us. Thank you for letting us, get pumped by the institutions. Thanks, Bitcoin. But it's not the end all be all. It's not what's going to take. What got us here is not what's going to get us there. If we want to take the world into being a better place with crypto, like we say, it's not going to be with Bitcoin. It's not going to happen that way. It's trash. It's garbage. It's old. It doesn't work right. It can be fucked with. It's had bugs. Hex is flawless operation. No bugs, no problems, no issues. Better inflation model. Better as far as staking and mining goes. It's just a completely better crypto. And when the world sees it, when the world's ready for crypto, And I think it's coming with all this money printing and everything. There's something definitely needs to step in. Hex can be that thing. It really can be that thing. I mean, think about it. Just plug Hex into Venezuela instead of Bitcoin. Plug it in there. Let's see what could have happened then. Because now, not only with Venezuela would have lost on the dip, but they're still generating more tokens. And if that was being seen by other communities, other countries, that's a different look than what Bitcoin's doing, just sitting in a wallet, waiting for institutions to buy it, waiting for fake pumps. You know, it would be a whole different narrative if Hex was sitting in that wallet versus Bitcoin. And when the world sees that, when they see the inflation model, when they see the yield generation tool that Hex is, it's going to go ape shit nuts. I mean, I explain it like, you know, you if you're in the financial world, you know that there are industries that have to make yield. You know, the insurance industry has to make yield. Like there's guys out there every day trying to fucking eke out a 2 or 3%, you know, somehow, some way in order to keep their jobs. And imagine if they could sit back and do 20 to 30 freaking APY and make all of that whole industry go nuts if they could find out a way to do something like that. And I think that's where we're going. I think that that's where Hex will end up. That's why I always say that Hex is going to dry up. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to get very, very rare because the circulating supply is very, very rare. And that circulating supply that's out there, that's not staked, once big money finds it and starts buying it and wants to stake it, then it's going to dry up and people are going to be waiting in line to get Hex. And what's the price going to do then?
Yep. And that's the thing there. I see a huge shift from last cycle where a majority of people would just throw ETH in their Kraken account or their Gemini account and get the 4% interest and the whatever. And now you're seeing a huge shift into people getting that ETH off of exchanges and throwing it into the liquid staking, the Linqto, Frax shares, you know, GMX, those pools. And that's great. It's better than having your shit on an exchange, but it's making the introduction into the world of DeFi. And once they're there in those protocols in actual DeFi, not on an exchange, they'll start looking around, seeing what else is out there. And inevitably, I think that leads people into Hex. Once you're in, you know, liquid staking with Linqto or rocket pools, and you're going to start looking around, seeing what else is out there. And that's what's going to trigger people into Hex. The migration has already started to happen. And a certain buyer will only take Hex serious when it's $1, $2, $5. And that's the funny thing, how this shit works, is while it's cheap and you could have made all that money, it doesn't matter. Certain people just won't look at it until it's had that track record and whatever.
Do you know
that's coming.
Scramble that's going to happen when Hex hits $1? Do you know the freaking it's going to go to $2. Once it hits $1, it's going to $2 very quickly. You know, because we saw it.
Crazy like, how that works.
When it goes to a nickel, it's going to go fast to a dime. No, it went fast to freaking 25 cents when it hit a nickel. And then when it hit 25 cents, it went fast to 50 cents. I mean, it was kaboom, kaboom. And when Hex hits $1, it's going to go to 2 real quick. And then when it goes to 2, this next bull run could be big, could be really, really, really big. When it moves like nobody's business. And it's how the liquidity pools are set up. You know, it's Hart's Law, it's all that stuff. And Richard is a master freaking tactician, man. He understands this game and he has set it up. He has set it up for success. And we're going to see that. We're going to see some of that success this next bull run. We're going to see it. That's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely are. And I'm excited. I can't wait for it. And well, yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I think we've pretty much covered a lot.
Ringed it out, baby. We ringed it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so for the 43 people that are still in here, appreciate all you guys. Smash that like button. If you're not following Captain, go give him a follow on Twitter and Discourse Syndicate YouTube channel.
Yep.
And anything else you want to chill
want
or
to
say?
talk about this weekend. So we've been on this Pulsechain tour and been having a hell of a fun time meeting with Hexkins and hanging out and VIP parties with them and everything. But let me see. Hold on a second. My producer is hailing me. I may need my mic is a little hot. Was my mic hot all night? But this last party that we're having in Arizona, I'm going to be there. Taking off on Thursday, heading out to Arizona. We're going to party one last time on this tour this year, on the Bear Tour, and we'll be hitting the cruise in LA in December for the Hex birthday and to wind up the tour, and then maybe discuss maybe a global tour next year. Who knows? We might be taking it on a bull run global tour and going and talking to people about DeFi. So I'm not done yet. But this weekend, if you want to come hang out, go to pulsechaintour.com. That's where you get the tickets and everything. We want to know what everyone wants to eat and drink and come hang out with us. We got a cool little party spot picked out. There's going to be all kinds of games and pool tables and stuff there, and our own little place. So yeah, if you want to come hang out and party with us in Arizona, we're going to be out there in Phoenix area and doing it up this weekend. So come hang out.
Awesome. They're all guys that they're a blast. I can verify that firsthand. Been to multiple, and the best thing is like I've never seen like nobody got arrested that I know of ever in Vegas in like 3 trips there. Yeah, but that's unheard of. I mean, for having hundreds of people out there and never one person just doing one stupid thing and getting arrested, it's like we got a special group.
Yeah, we do. I've had to save a couple of them from getting arrested, but we ended up saving them at the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, all right, guys, everyone that was here, appreciate it. Smash that like button, share this out. And if you were anywhere in the Southwest, get your ass to Phoenix and have a blast with the crew down there.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate you, man.
You're welcome. All right, guys, hit that like button. We'll see you later.